morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to have a look at the Shark. Yes, the T54E2, an American Tier 8 premium tank that is probably one of the Tier 8s that is a must-have tank. You know, there is a lot of Tier 8 tanks out there. There's a lot of premium tanks, and probably the Tier 8 is I would say the most popular, apart from Tier 10. Well, I don't know, maybe Tier 8's even more popular than Tier 10 because the amount of premium tanks there is. Most new premium tanks are Tier 8s. You know, it is one of those the tiers to go to if you want to earn some credits. Not so much now, but back in the day, people would, unless they're grinding a line, Tier 8 was the only tier you used to go to if you needed credits, you know, the IS6 era, etc. So now there is a lot of tanks in Tier 8, and a lot of them, to be honest, are the same. You know, you've got the IS6, you've got all the ISs, the IS5, and you've got the Chinese heavies. There's loads of tanks out there that are very, very similar when it comes to Tier 8. So you wouldn't sit there and play each one. You know, you've got the WZ111, you've got the 111-4, you've got loads. You've got absolutely loads of tanks that are very, very similar in Tier 8. However, the Shark is kind of a one of a kind. It is one of a kind. If you've played the tech tree versions like the E5, then you will like the Shark. It's definitely a tank, a go-to tank if you need to play Tier 8, and not just if you want to play Tier 8, but if you need to. And there's occasions now where I'm playing ratings a lot because I want to get my ratings up for this competition that we're doing, for the YouTuber competition. And the Shark is one of my go-to tanks when it comes to not just playing Tier 8, but I mean ratings. If you want to play tournaments, the Shark is one of those go-to tanks. So when it does come for sale, it does come for sale often than a lot of other tanks, and in my opinion, it is a must-have Tier 8 tank if you can get it, if it comes cheap enough. Or it's always if it comes cheap enough. Of course, if the tank comes for sale and it's 15k gold, then yeah, it probably isn't worth it. But if it comes for sale for even I would say 10,000 gold, then I would say that 10,000 gold is worth it, because you've got to bear in mind that a lot of Tier 8s do come for sale between 8 and 10,000 gold, or say between 8 and 12,000 gold. And you get these tanks that are 8,000 gold, and you might only play it a few times. Whereas if you buy this tank for say 12,000, even 12,000 gold, the amount of time that you're going to spend playing this tank over other Tier 8 premium tanks is tenfold. You know, you're always going to play it. And if you're platooning, if you're playing ratings, if you're playing tournaments, the Shark is always there for you. You know, it's always there. It's always an option, and it's one of the only, I would say, one of the only Tier 8 tanks to have that. Of course, you have things like the Action X that is up there as well, and a few other tanks, like literally a few other tanks, especially when it comes to premium. I'm not so much talking about tech tree tanks, I'm talking about premium. It is one of those tanks that is, you know what, I want to play the Shark. If you again play ratings, you can always rely on the Shark, because it is a fantastic tank. It's got good DPM for what it is. It's got good armor. It's got good speed. It's an overall. It has the overall package, and that's what you want when it comes to Tier 8. I do not want at all think that it is it's overpowered. Do I think it's the best Tier 8? Probably not. There are a couple of Tier 8s out there, like the Action X, for instance. The Action X is just fantastic, and I would go to say that the Action X is probably one of the best Tier 8s in the game. But closely followed that, I would honestly say the Shark is there. You can earn credits, you can perform, you can do damage like we've done there, you know, almost 4k damage, and we didn't even really have to fight for that. We've done it quite easily. It was a rating game as well, and we still managed to perform, and that is what the Shark can do. So if it does come for sale for maximum 10,000 gold, then if you've got the gold, honestly, this is it's a good investment. It really is a good investment for the amount of times you're going to play it, etc., etc. It definitely is a good investment, and not only that, but it looks fantastic. I think the shark camo looks absolutely brilliant. So well done Wargaming for that. So yeah, I can't remember when how much I paid for the tank when it first come into the game. In fact, I'm not even sure I paid for it. I think I somehow got it for free. I think it was like maybe a birthday gift, or I got it in a crate or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's one of the best tanks in my garage when it comes to tier 8s, heavy wise anyway. Of course, there's some mediums out there that are really, really good. There's some tank destroyers out there that are really, really good. But when it comes to heavies, if you are getting bored of the IS line, if you're getting bored of the 122mm guns that are just absolutely covering a tier 8, then yeah, you should enjoy this. And again, if you like the American line when it gets to the E5, and we've always said it, this is like a tier 8 E5. It really is. If you can go hull down, then you'll get bounces. Of course, it does have the hatch on top that can be penetrated, but you've got that gun depression, you've got that speed, and you've got that armor. So it has everything that you need for it to be a fantastic tank. So I would strongly recommend saving your gold. If you've got some gold, just saving your gold for this to come for sale. And again, when Wargaming brings these crates out, where I think they're not the lucky crates, but where I can't remember what they're called now. You always get the shark in them crates. Well, possibility, it's possible to get the shark in them crates, you know, where you get all different crates. You buy 16 crates and they're all different tanks. So it's definitely worth having if you can get your hands on it. So we're just going to finish this game. I mean, always try and find a ridge, because your hull isn't fantastic. The hull isn't great, and again, that's just like the E5. Like the hull isn't great, but the turret is amazing. So it definitely plays better on a ridge. The tank is quite tall as well, so if tanks are able to, if you are in the position where you can use your gun depression, you do have to be very careful, because you are quite a tall tank. And if you come up against tanks that are low to the ground, just like this tank here, he can easily shoot us. He can easily shoot our lower plate. I wasn't worried too much because I knew I had him and I'd be able to deal with that guy. So now at this point in the game, I mean, we have lost a lot of hit points. I'm not gonna lie, we've lost hit points that we shouldn't have really lost, if I'm honest. I was a bit too aggressive. And again, it is one of those tanks that if you are too aggressive, you will probably suffer from it. So do bear that in mind, that the armor profile wise is nice, but when you're only in a certain position, if you're in the open or flat ground, then a lot of tanks will be able to deal with you, no problem whatsoever. So do try and get yourself on a ridge. Look up, if you are on a ridge, make sure you're hiding that hatch, and that is where this tank will absolutely shine. And then later on in the battle, if you've got the hit points, you could just rush in, no problem. The reload, again, what, 8 seconds? It is not much at all, but it definitely is worth a tank, worth having in your garage if you can afford it. So I hope you like this video, guys. If you did, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think of the shark. But for now, I'll catch you later. Bye-bye. With